From Variety, celebrating more than 118 years covering the business of entertainment, this is the Awards Circuit Podcast.
The nominee for Best Motion Picture of the Year are
American Fiction,
Anatomy of a Fall,
Barbie,
The Holdovers,
Killers of the Flower Moon,
Maestro,
Oppenheimer,
Past Lives,
Poor Things,
and The Zone of Interest.
I'm Michael Schneider, and on this special edition of the award-winning Variety Awards Circuit Podcast, it's a mega roundtable edition as we go through every category of this year's 96th Academy Awards. Get ready to win your Oscar pool. It's all next on this edition of the Variety Awards Circuit Podcast. Stay close. Dun dun dun. That's my fanfare. Hey, I think Oscar season should go another month. I'm not ready for it to end yet. But here we are. I am Variety TV editor Michael Schneider, along with the podcast crew, the Roundtable gang. We got some Clayton Davis for you.
We do have
Pow,
some.
pow, pow.
Pew, 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 pew. We have the one and only Janelle Riley.
Hey, bringing the round table.
Yes.
My God.
Jazz Tanke.
I guess I bring the table.
You bring the jazz.
I bring the jazz.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
La
fine.
musica.
You save jazz.
Yes, improv style. Jazz just, whatever she's feeling at the moment.
Jazz hands.
Yes.
They can't see jazz hands. though.
Anatomy of a Jazz. So,
What are you guys doing this week?
What's that?
What are you guys doing this week?
I got back from Mexico.
Oh.
Yeah.
Going to South by?
I might go to In-N-Out
Oh, you're
Burger.
going to South by.
Yes.
Should we go In-N-Out
For lunch
Burger?
today?
That's
No,
where,
on Sunday.
That's where the winners go.
Yeah.
That's
true.
you.
Lou, sorry, you can't come in.
Yeah. No, in that case, you have to go to Burger King.
Sorry, Wes Anderson.
Yes.
There's a Wendy's down the street.
Yes.
Do you have a statue in your hand? Enter.
Yeah.
If you don't,
They should host an after party. That would be amazing.
I'm
would be smart.
surprised.
That'd be
You know,
smart
the
business.
one year I went to the Oscars at the after party, they had an In-N-Out truck. Ooh. Yes, but I remember being very discouraged because it was when you were waiting for your limo because it's such a long wait. Yeah. They didn't have the fries; they had bags of chips.
Yeah, they always do that with the trucks because I
Yeah.
guess the idea of putting a deep fryer inside a truck is probably not the best idea.
Come on, what could go wrong?
Exactly.
Excuse me, Little Mermaid did a McDonald's truck.
They did.
And they had fries.
That is
They did,
McDonald's.
yeah.
So that's McDonald's.
McDonald's
Yes.
doesn't care about your rules, your
that is
OSHA,
true.
your
Those fries have been in that truck since
But they're
1963.
still delicious.
they were
Oh,
good.
God, the best. The best.
So Clayton Davis, I just went on to Variety.com to see
/lists /2024 -Oscar -predictions /documentary -short -5 /.
That's where it all starts. Scroll down to the bottom and start from the back on up. But
Time of
we're
recording, those prediction pages have not been fully updated yet. But they will be by the time
so
you
you're gonna
listen
make some
to this.
changes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, these are not final. Anything that you see if you see an Oscar symbol on the picture, that means it's updated. If it's not
Okay.
there, it's not real.
so you're going to make some last minute changes? Are you?
No, what's here? Because I just turned in my print piece in our new marquee section in Variety Magazine. Check it out this week.
Print magazine.
Print. There's things that get printed and then you can't change it anymore.
So you better get it right.
Yeah, so I better get it right. So we're gonna work from the bottom up. And why don't you read the nominees, Mike, and then we can all debate
That's so
this.
sweet. You're giving him something to do.
I know, because he's going to be like, I've heard of this movie or not.
Exactly. Well, we're
The
going to start with
shorts
the shorts
especially.
where I
Yeah.
have heard of nothing.
Yeah.
So, well, let's start then.
Live
So,
action.
live action short. We have The After. We have Invincible, Night of Fortune, Red, White, and Blue, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. Yeah. I know none of these.
Look, you even messed that up.
Yeah. So I think the easy thing for a lot of people to do is choose a Wes Anderson movie.
But I also think a lot of people are going to say, like, we're not going to give it Wes Anderson his first Oscar for a short.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think there are a lot of people in the now separated shorts and animation branch, when they were combined, there are a lot of shorts people in that community who get very perturbed, very annoyed by established filmmakers with large budgets coming into their space.
Salute your shorts.
Even though
Yes.
it's a very good short, and actually, as
Yeah.
someone who has such a love-hate relationship with Wes Anderson, I actually think shorts are a great medium for him because at about the 30-minute mark, the tweeness starts to get to me and make me itch.
Well, I think that is the Achilles heel of the movie. It's by far the longest of all the shorts that are there, is at the 40-minute mark. I have chosen to go with the other Netflix feature short film, The After, to win this in conversations with voters. It seems to be between that and Red, White, and Blue, which is a very timely movie, Michael, about women's reproductive rights. You may be aware that our country is on fire and not
Yeah, this is the last Oscars
this is the last
under
Oscars
democracy,
we'll ever
I
have.
believe.
I was looking forward to 100, but 96 is a good one to go out on. But I'm going with The After, and I don't think anyone's wrong for picking any of them because it's always a crapshoot.
Yeah, I'm going with Red, White, and Blue.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
That's what I was going to say, just because of the sub. It's actually a very good short too.
These
but-
are all good, which
Yeah.
is, but you know what I have to say, as a short filmmaker myself who's been to many festivals and sees a lot of shorts, they never really nominate the best. There's so many great shorts out there.
The shorts were, I think, collectively very rough this year. Even when you got down to the short list, the 15,
Oh, but there were some on that list that like
it was
yeah.
bizarre how like some of them were like really not well done.
But there were ones that were so
Were great.
good that I can't believe didn't make it.
Yeah.
like Strange Way of Life, which
Which
you
you
have
have-
on your
yes.
page
Yeah.
right now.
Shepherd,
Shepherd,
and
yeah.
Frank Gift Shop.
Yeah, really good. But
Okay.
you know, that's the way we go.
It's
I mean,
so weird.
These are the categories that really impact probably your
pool.
office pool
Yes.
the most.
And
These are the-
or your bathroom breaks. So I always want them to be more impactful during the ceremony, but you know, people don't know where to watch these or how.
well, a lot of them now, I mean, are streaming. So finally, there are opportunities.
Yeah, Netflix has a streaming site if people.
I've heard Netflix.com/streaming.
/5/hyphen/
No, well, to that, like a lot of the the documentary shorts themselves have been dropped on YouTube, which I found really interesting. And yeah,
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the next category.
Oh, what a
Documentary
segue.
short.
What a
What a-
segue.
jazz with the segue.
So we've got the ABCs of book banning. We've got The Barber of Little Rock, Island in Between, The Last Repair Shop, which is very local LAUSD. So shout out to Last Repair
Oh
Shop.
my gosh, wait for this.
Oh my
and
God.
Nai and Waipo.
Oh, you got it.
Ah. She'd have faith in you, Mike.
Well, he's got the aloha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So by far of all the shorts categories, this is the best collective 5.
Yes.
Of the group. Again, there's an obvious choice that people will make, and that will be The Last Repair Shop. Chris Bowers, God bless his heart, great composer and former winner Ben Proudfoot, and the story now that the repair shop has been saved in LA is going to touch the hearts of many. However, after a few conversations, I've chosen to predict ABCs of book banning.
Same.
Okay.
Oh, and I can see why, right? Because of the Sheila Nevins of it.
And there is some book banning going on in
so-
the United
I
States
mean,
of
it's
America.
topical.
It is very topical.
And by the way, not the best of them, and it has a very divisive response. Some people are like really on board with it, and some people like really don't like it. But
They're talking about it.
They're
They
talking
are,
about it. And
yeah.
I think the Sheila Nevins retirement was just enough.
Yeah,
push
that
it
was
Yeah.
that timing was,
That was quite
Interesting.
yeah, chef's
But-
kiss.
What's really fun is that, or a fun fact, is that John Hoffman, who was nominated for The Barber of the Little Rock with Christine Turner, Sheila Nevins used to be his boss. So it's an interesting. I mean,
Never
this
get
is
ahead in this world.
This is the tough one, right? Because I think Nene and Weipo is so beautiful, and those grandmothers who Sean Wang's like grandmothers who feature in that are so like you can't not love them when you see them.
I talked to a voter who said, I didn't watch any of the movies in this group, but I voted for Nene and Waipo because I saw pictures of them at the Oscar luncheon. It was so cute.
See, I wonder if that
I was furious. by
Yeah,
that
that
reasoning.
person gets a vote in this.
Yeah. But I wonder if that would. I mean, I think ABCs of book banning is probably going to be my pick, but look out.
I
for
think ABC's and Last Repair Shop are battling out. I think the dark horse is Barber of Little Rock. A lot of people do love that short. Actually, I really like it as well, and it's a little eye opening, but we'll see.
Well, let's move on to animated shorts.
Animated.
Letter to a Pig, 95 Senses, Our Uniform, Pachyderm, and War is Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko.
This is where titles mean everything.
Oh my God. Can I just tell you, I went to see Letter of a Pig because, you know, I love pigs. It's a Holocaust movie.
Not about pigs.
Not about pigs.
No.
Nope.
Nope. Not
Yeah.
a little bit.
I was like, oh, cute. My dog is named Wilbur after a pig. I adore pigs. I was very excited. And yes, I feel misled.
Yep.
It's also an excellent movie.
Yeah. I think that's the runner-up. I think John and Yoko.
The title.
That is
Titles matter,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, that is my instinct, but I'm going to stick with Letter to a Pig because.
Please, someone needs to. That's good.
No, I'm going.
Oh, and I also think it's interesting. 95 Senses is Jerusha and Jared Hess, the Napoleon Dynamites.
I know, which is
writer directors. Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah,
but
that's pretty fun.
I think that's where we're going to end up. But that is the internet choice, 95 Senses, by far. But I just think when in doubt, go Lazy Academy.
Yeah.
They'll check it out. They'll be like, oh, John Yoko, that sounds like it was
Yeah.
interesting, maybe, if I watched it.
All right. Well, on now to international features.
Oh, come
quick,
on.
so quick. Go ahead.
Come
Go
on.
ahead, let's do it,
Mike,
though.
you can predict it too.
Yes.
Yeah, come on.
He hasn't
Yeah.
seen any of these.
But
and
the one that I've heard of.
Yeah.
The one.
which is, it's.
Wait,
go ahead.
I wanna see which one that
say
is.
the nominees first.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
Okay. Well, the first one is Io Capitano?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect Days,
Yep.
Society of the Snow, which I've heard of too, The Teacher's Lounge, and The Zone of Interest.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Yep.
Don't know
Which-
what it.
That's
I
going
mean,
nowhere.
that's the obvious one, right?
Yeah, Zone
Yes.
of Interest.
But-
It's nominated for Best Picture.
My God, Perfect Days.
Yeah.
My God.
Can I also just say, for the record, so everyone knows this, even if Perfect Days were to win, or even when Zone of Interest wins, Jonathan Glazer and Wim Wenders are not Oscar winners, and I hate this stupid rule.
Because it goes to
the country.
Yeah.
Even though their names are on the Oscar as directors, they do not physically get the Oscars, and they are not.
they can't make
Oscar
a
winners.
duplicate statuette.
I think they can.
They can make it out of chocolate.
Yeah, I think they can get you can give
it's
them an
crazy.
Oscar, but
Yeah.
they're not Oscar winners. They can't be referred to as Oscar winners.
So it's
I-
just awarded to the country?
The country.
Asghar Farhadi is not an Academy Award winner, even though his 2 films have won international feature.
So where does the Oscar end up? Just like
In the
In the gutter.
no, in the what's it called? The
the
Netflix headquarters?
Parliament or
not
wherever?
Parliament. What's it called? The,
Embassy?
embassy. Yeah.
No
yeah.
way, are you serious?
I mean, that's what my guess has always been.
Or the consulate.
Or the consulate.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So obviously Zone of Interest, but if there's a spoiler, it's Perfect Days,
If there's a spoiler, there is Perfect Days. That's my number 2.
which I wish had been considered in other categories. Oh, by the way, when we got to this category, I was like, well, clearly Anatomy of a Fall. Oh, wait.
Oh
Yeah.
Yes, I still
Which
forget.
I
Not
believe-
eligible.
I wonder what kind of effect that has on a voter who isn't nerds like us that could go down the ballot and they say to themselves, I'm definitely voting for Anatomy of a Fall. And when you get there, it's not there. Do you automatically tell yourself, okay, I guess I'm going Zone of Interest because it's nominated for picture? Or do you do something else?
Or
I don't
do
know.
they go Society of the Snow?
Or,
Like,
I mean, makeup branch person might because it's nominated
Yeah.
makeup, but
I bet a lot of people saw Society of the Snow, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
It's,
It's
on
definitely
Netflix.
a very
Yeah.
watched movie.
Oh, man, though. Perfect Days.
Let's go to
What
Docs.
a beautiful
Let's go
movie.
to Doc
AKA
Feature.
International Feature Part 2. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So we got Bobby Wine, The People's President, The Eternal Memory, 4 Daughters, To Kill a Tiger, and 20 Days in Mariupol.
Yeah, 20 days, topical. There's a war going on in Ukraine still, 2 years later. I think that's the one. It also won DGA. And then PGA winner is not nominated here, American Symphony. Spoiler, though, I think, coincidentally, is To Kill a Tiger.
Oh, yeah, I
Yes.
think it is.
Yeah,
I'm
she's-
going to Kill a Tiger.
I'll tell you what's so interesting about that journey is like did not have distribution. Nisha and the TIFF team went out campaigning. It got nominated. Well, it got shortlisted, got nominated, and then
Now Netflix has To Kill a
Netflix has
Tiger.
it.
But it's not, they're not considering it among their slate. But I feel like that kind of told me it was number 2 in a weird way. I was like, maybe it just is number 2.
if it's not 20 days, then To Kill.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But I think Bobby Wine can also do it if you're looking for a happy choice, and that's the happiest one in the group.
I will say Nat Geo has done an
Oh,
excellent
gosh,
job
they're so
promoting
great.
it. I mean, they're
so
everywhere
great.
with Bobby Wine.
Yeah.
So,
And their docs are just fantastic.
yeah, so I could see that be a surprise too. And that will be the power of campaigning if they pull that off.
Power
But it's also a good movie.
Yeah. All right, so on to original song. So from American Symphony, we've got It Never Went Away by John Batiste and Dan Wilson. At Barbie, we've got I'm Just Ken, Mark Ronson and Andrew Wyatt. Also from Barbie, What Was I Made For? Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas. From Flamin' Hot. This is but of course, Diane Warren. It's not an Oscars if Diane Warren is not nominated.
It's her best
for
nomination, like 7 years ago.
The Fire Inside. The Fire Inside, which is what you feel when you eat a bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And then finally, from Killers of the Flower Moon. Now this one.
No, make him say it.
I think it's Wajeje.
Wajeje?
I think so.
A Song for My People by Scott George.
Yeah.
I just want it to be I'm Just Ken.
I know.
So
We all do.
badly.
I do. Listen, I think we have to leave ourselves open to that possibility that Ken pulled it off.
Yeah.
And if that ceremony doesn't start with Ryan Gosling, they're doing it wrong. But I think it's the Song of the Year winner. Like
Billy,
Grammy.
yeah.
That's hard. Like, I mean, I think I'm Just Ken is definitely a movie song. And again, it all depends on how you vote in this category. But I think it's Billy.
But is there a world where the two Barbie songs split?
We were talking about that.
Killers
I
rises?
don't think so.
yeah.
But no.
I think the Killers of the Flower Moon song
I think that
is
would
a
be
strong
3.
contender too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm
Billy.
just going to stick with I'm Just Ken. I just have to.
I'm going with Billy.
Yeah, and that's fine. And by the way, Billie Eilish Phineas going to make some history. Will be the youngest 2-time Oscar winners in history.
Yeah, that's what's going to be incredible is the fact that they already have 2
Yeah.
Well, you know what's
Oscars.
So it's obviously it's very impressive for Billie because 3 women have won 2 Oscars by the time they're before the age of 30, and that was Jodie Foster, Hilary Swank, and starts with a G. Not Glenda Jackson. It'll come to me in a minute. So there were actresses. Obviously, she's the first one to do it. That's going to be a non-actor. Phineas, no man has done it before the age of 32, and that was Walt Disney in like the shorts categories when he was giving himself Oscars. So I thought that is super interesting that Phineas, I'm actually more impressed by him doing it than Billy. I mean, they both have so many more years left.
It's crazy.
To just keep doing it.
The reason I'm sticking with Billy is she's also been campaigning really hard. She's been showing up, but not just showing up and leaving. She's been staying through like the Costume Designer Guild Awards and everywhere else. Like
She
it
seems like
wasn't
she's
just
having the greatest time.
I know.
Maybe she's just a really good actor, but like it just charms me.
And
she's been out there.
I think also going back to what I said a couple weeks ago is it would just be such a bad look if the only Oscar that Barbie wins is for a song about Ken. And I think people will kind of take that into consideration when they're like,
Well, then they should
this
vote
is
for
a
it in other
bad
categories too.
This is a bad look.
Look at that.
Yeah, but they probably won't. So it's a bad look to you're feeling like I should probably vote for the song that's really the emotional core of this film and what it's about.
It is the My Heart Will Go On of the year.
Yeah,
Yes.
it kind of
Yep.
is. You're absolutely right. So, all right. So that is song. Now we're moving on to original score.
And this is where it begins.
Yep, this is where you're going to hear a lot of the same words. Go ahead.
All right. So we got American Fiction, Laura Cartman. You got Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, the one and only John Williams.
Our cover this week.
Go check out Print Variety.
Incredible story by Chris Wellman.
Yeah. Killers of the Flower Moon, Robbie Robertson.
May he rest in peace.
Oppenheimer, Ludwig Göransson. And then, of course, Poor Things, Jerskin Fendrix.
Very nice.
Oppie, right?
It's Oppie. Good night,
Oppie.
Oppie.
Good night, Oppie.
Ludwig's going to win his second Oscar in 7 years, I think, because he went for Black Panther. I think it's an easy call. Runner-up, not saying it's close, but, I think a good, comfortable number 2 is Robbie Robertson.
Of course.
Because of
His
passing.
his passing. I think people just voted. And it's also a great score.
Yeah, it's a great score. Just want to, since we're beginning the Oppenheimer sweep, quick plug if you haven't read the op-ed, the Oppie-Op.
The Oppen-Ed?
The Oppie-Op by Oppenheimer. Robert Oppenheimer's grandson wrote something for us last week, and it's very kind of talks about what he thinks Oppenheimer would have thought of the film and why the film's urgent and necessary. And
How old is his
really
grandson
good.
now?
I don't know. He's got to be in his 30s, 40s at least. Yeah.
Would you say his op-ed is the bomb?
No, I would never say that because I'm not a dad.
I would love to hear that.
Charles Oppenheimer is his name, by the way, and he is 48. Yes.
48.
Yeah, but he looks young.
Oh, he does look. But I also could be a very that could be him at 30.
Radiation is good on that.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I was like, quit while you're behind, Mike.
Does he live
Spread
in
it
Los
all over your
Alamos?
face.
It's funny because I did when I was like, he looks young. I was like, I expected him to look like Cillian Murphy and a big close up on his face.
Visual effects.
Visual effects. The Creator. Godzilla -1. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Mission Impossible. Dead Reckoning Part 1. And Napoleon.
You know what's interesting is you
hardest
have
category.
probably my favorite movie of the year and my least favorite movie of the year in the same category.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's not what you think.
Can't wait.
This is a tough one.
It's the hardest category because Poor Things won BAFTA, not nominated here. Oppenheimer was snubbed. Dune Part
Crazy.
2 got moved out of the year. I am going with the BS sweeper of The Creator. It's a safe studio choice. I think if you're in a studio movie mood, then you go Creator. The runner-up is Godzilla -1.
I'm choosing chaos and going with Godzilla -1.
Yes.
I'm going to do that too.
Yes. Make me wrong.
Although, I mean, yeah, The Creator's very popular with visual effects artists and it won at VES, but Godzilla -1 came in at the last minute. They submitted at the last minute and they're really popular. I don't know. I mean, it is a really tough one.
What's interesting is
but
that when you look at stats of this category, there's like the sound stat that visual effects goes with the sound nomination that favors obviously The Creator and Mission Impossible. Also, it's the first Mission Impossible Oscar nomination in the entire franchise.
Wow, really?
Which is nuts. Yeah. And then there's the production design stat that 20 out of the last 23 VFX winners were nominated in production design. The only one nominated there, Napoleon. And then there's the sole nominated movie of Godzilla, which was not nominated at BAFTA, and I believe almost every winner has been nominated there in like the last decade. And then Guardians has pretty much everything like on paper. But also it would be the weirdest first time Marvel movie to win this category. Like it would be like Suicide Squad becoming the first. We're like, oh, okay, I guess that would
Also
be
the
it.
worst Marvel movie.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. So there's no definitive right answer, but I'm going Creator.
it's interesting because both of these films, their budgets come in at under $100 million.
I love that.
too. So
Good on them.
I would like $100 million. Go ahead.
Let's all. Sound.
Don't you get all kinds of money from
Yeah,
kickbacks from the
that is-
studios?
that is
for
true. Whenever I say something nice.
yeah, right?
Isn't that how it works?
You are the pathway to the Oscars.
Oh God, sound.
Sound. So once again, The Creator, Maestro, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, Oppenheimer, and The Zone of Interest.
Flip a coin. BAFTA went with Zone of Interest.
God, that sounded so interest is insane.
Cinema Audio Society went with Oppenheimer. MPSE went with Oppenheimer, beating Zone of Interest there. And then there's no other precursor. I can't predict everything that BAFTA is predicting. BAFTA picked. I'm going with Oppenheimer.
Same.
You're
You're not going to go Oppenheimer down the ballot and be like, oh, Zone here. Like, I can't.
I mean, I think you can, because Zone is coincidentally like Sound of Metal, that the sound is so integral to the story and the experience.
yeah.
insane.
So,
But so with Maestro, I would think.
yeah,
That would be, yeah.
Which is funny. I always thought that if Oppenheimer was going to lose anything, I thought it would be Maestro,
Mm-hmm.
and it clearly isn't the case. So, I think I'm going to stay safe. I think the safe pick is Oppenheimer, but Zone could totally do it.
It's fun to see Tom Ozanek and Dean Zupančič both nominated.
I also
for-
love the idea of Johnny Byrne winning an Oscar because he's amazing.
yeah.
I love that guy.
They're both nominated for Maestro and The Creator, but
I feel like we're going to be saying Oppenheimer a lot the next half of this.
Not in the next one.
podcast.
Well,
definitely not the next one.
Well, the next one, makeup and hairstyling. So we have Golda, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and Society of the Snow.
50-50 also, because BAFTA went with Poor Things, but Makeup Guild did a Maestro sweep where Poor Things won nothing. And my theory is, I think you predict here depending on how high you have Bradley Cooper ranked in your
Or
best
just
actor
how high you
predictions.
are.
Or how high you are. How high he is in your best actor predictions. If you have him 3 or 4, then you can predict Maestro here. If you think he's last, then you shouldn't predict him here. You shouldn't predict Maestro.
All right. Well, you're predicting Maestro.
I'm going to take Maestro because I have him fourth. But I don't like it.
But
at
it's
all.
interesting because the makeup at win has been tied to an acting win. And in this case, this would probably be, if we go with the Maestro route.
Yeah, well, it's tied to a lead acting performance
I think
that's nominated. So that obviously favors Bradley. Now, Emma's nominated, but they're not nominating Poor Things for Emma. They're nominating it for the performance that was snubbed, and that was Willem Dafoe. And that's why I think.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Poor Things. I think it's what
I'm jealous. I'm just jealous. I wanted to
I'm
do it.
a little annoyed by this Oppenheimer nomination because I don't think it should just be one person.
I agree.
Yeah.
It was
like-
it was my by the way, I have in front of me like my final print copy, and that's the one I changed before it went to the printer.
Oh, did
Was
you?
makeup. I had Poor Things, and then I switched back to Maestro.
Oh, look. Oh, so it is going to be Poor Things. then.
It's going to
Watch
be
that.
Poor
It's gonna be
Things.
Poor
Yeah.
Things.
I'm sticking with
Remember this
Maestro.
moment, guys.
Sticking with Maestro.
with Maestro?
But yes, Jamie Lee McIntosh, who was the hairstylist on Oppenheimer, should have been on that ballot
Yeah.
with.
But no one knows that because names aren't on the ballots.
No.
It's just the name of the movie, which is kind of silly.
Back to.
Film
All right,
editing.
so film editing. So we have Anatomy of a Fall. We have The Holdovers. We have Killers of the Flower Moon. We have Oppenheimer, and we have Poor Things.
So tempted to pick Holdovers,
easy,
though.
beautiful cover girl. Enjoy your Oscar, Jennifer Lame. It's going to be awesome.
First woman to
Oppenheimer.
win in 9 years for editing?
Yeah,
That's not lame at all.
that's nice.
My God.
Nice.
What have I
brought
done with
it
my
home.
life?
Yeah. I mean, such a deserving win. By the way, also why I'm predicting Oppenheimer and sound. Film editing and sound go together a lot.
Okay. There you go. Jennifer Lame is going to win.
Yeah. What do you think, Janelle?
Yeah, Oppenheimer. I do think it's funny because I read something the other day where somebody was like, people don't understand what film editing is, and you should give it to Killers of the Flower Moon because otherwise that movie would have been 4 hours long. And I was like, you just demonstrated you don't know what film editing is with that very statement.
And that film was 4 hours long. So,
3.5, 3:29.
okay. Costume design. So
You crazy, Clayton.
we got Barbie. We got Killers of the Flower Moon. We got Napoleon. We got Oppenheimer, and we got Poor Things.
So, and I think we should just say, because this is going to go together, we're going to also read the nominees for production design, which are these same exact 5 films. So you could just say them again, right? So the big stat, obviously, is them not usually splitting in these two categories. They very rarely will do that. When speaking to voters, I feel like Poor Things is aggressively winning production design. I do hear the split a lot in costume. So I think you are fine to do a split with Poor Things in production, Barbie in costume, or Poor Things in both, but not Barbie in both. I have chosen to do the split of Poor Things in production, Barbie in costume, because I just feel like you think of Barbie, you think of Ken's coat, you think of them rollerblading in Santa Monica, all those types of things. Poor Things, you mostly think of Emma with her big ruffled shoulder yellow thing. Poor Things in production is, I think Poor Things and Barbie were both shot on a sound stage, and I think Poor Things will just scream more impressive to a voter because thinking of building an entire city inside a room and it feels like an entire city and not a room. And Barbie, you're kind of hyper aware that they're on a sound stage.
See, I feel the exact opposite.
Do you?
Yeah, but I'm weird.
Oh, well, so I go with Jesus there.
I mean, they both feel like you're on a soundstage to some degree, but
See, I didn't get that feeling with Barbie. That's the crazy thing. And I know everyone says that. And I'm like, okay, apparently I'm just gullible. Because I was just like,
well, maybe because th're in the desert for a long time.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it
Yeah.
feels like they're.
come on,
in
I've
and
seen
out,
that beach.
But no, I think it's kind of an either or thing. But I mean, Barbie, this is where Barbie can pull up Black Panther. Black Panther won production and costumes its year, and it wasn't really supposed to, quote unquote, because of where the precursors fell. But precursor wise, costumes, BAFTA went with Poor Things, and the Guild went with Poor Things and Barbie, but they were in separate categories.
I'm sticking with Poor Things in both.
Where are you, Jazz?
I'm going to do. I think I'm going to stick with Poor Things in both.
Yeah.
But
Even
I
people
might-
who don't like Poor Things just talk about the production design and
Yeah.
the costumes.
Yeah. I might change to
There's also like, I mean,
costumes.
both are spectacular in Barbie too, but there's something to be said for like, in Barbie, you're sort of working off something, whereas Poor Things feels so original, like
Yeah.
you created this world. And it's not steampunk. We learned.
Yes. The other thing though with Barbie is like they all had such a really difficult job of pink on pink on pink,
Yeah.
which is not easy to do. So I don't know. I might change at the last minute, but right now, I'm
Hey,
gonna
look,
do
if Barbie
Poor
won,
Things.
I'd be thrilled.
But yeah.
I mean, I'm going with I think Barbie costumes, Poor Things production for today.
All right. Cinematography.
All right, babe, I got this one.
Yeah.
Actually, we should let Jazz. These
Yeah.
are her people.
Well, here,
Look.
I'll name them first. El Conde, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things.
oh, see, I was going to have Jazz do the names.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I was
Oh, I
trying
thought
to.
you wanted her to.
Oh
No, no.
Okay.
just say the ASC winner. Let's go.
Yes, I mean, I was hoping ASC would go rogue. They didn't, and our winner is going to be Hoyte van Hoytema.
Now, this category, though, none of these people have won. 14 combined nominations between these 5. I think it's pretty safe to say legends, even though some of them are
Yep.
newer.
Especially Rodrigo.
Yeah, every single one of these people is overdue in my eyes. So
Agreed. And 4 out of 5 of them shot on film, and all 5 of them, as at the ASC, were shot
And
had
all used-
featured black and white, which
Yeah.
was fun. So,
by the way, does the name Hoyte mean something? Like,
I'm not Dutch.
dunno.
well, no, just because his name is Hoyte van Hoytema, I was like, is his name like John Smith? John
Heaven
Smith?
of the heavens. I don't know.
Boutros Ghali.
Number 2 though is Rodrigo though.
Gosh, I just have to say,
I
if
think
people
so.
want to choose violence, go with El Conde.
I mean,
I wouldn't be mad, but
Yeah.
I don't remember the last sole cinematography winner.
Yeah.
To
Might have
win
been
cinematography.
Deacons?
No, to be the only nomination and win.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I was
think
thinking,
it was a documentary back in like the 30s.
Wow.
Something like that.
Oh. All right. Going back a bit.
We're going to animated feature.
Animated
Da, da, da,
feature.
da, da.
All right. This is a fun one. So we got The Boy and the Heron. We've got Elemental, Nimona, Robot Dreams, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Robot Dreams.
No, it makes me so sad.
I
sad.
love it so much.
I love Nimona too.
I love 3 out of these 5 were in my top 10 of the year, so I love so many of them. I'm going with Spider-Man for 2 reasons. One, they've won with the guilds, whereas Boy and the Heron has won BAFTA and Globe, and I just think industry-wide, Spider-Man is the favorite there. And I think this all goes into Harrison Ford shrinking mode again. They still want you to want it just a little bit. And Hayao Miyazaki has not been anywhere. He didn't, nobody, not even his producer showed up to the BAFTAs, showed up to the Globes. And I think that makes a difference.
Yeah.
So you don't think negging the Academy pays off?
I don't think just being like, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to work on my next movie while you guys are doing this campaign thing. I think, the Spider guys have been everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah. So you agree, Jazz?
Yep. Spider-Man.
Yeah. Janelle?
Yeah, it's like my favorite movie of the year. So
All right. Spider-Man it is. All right. We are on to adapted screenplay.
I think y'all are
So-
crazy for thinking that this is.
Here we go. It is American Fiction, Cord Jefferson. It's Barbie, Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach. Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan. Poor Things, Tony McNamara. And The Zone of Interest, Jonathan Glazer. So, here we go.
It's going to be American Fiction, Cord Jefferson.
Oh my God, I'm going to cry.
You're dreaming.
I think with BAFTA, Scripter, the BAFTA especially, it had no business winning BAFTA.
Look, don't come at me with facts.
No.
And statistics.
That's my Q&A.
And historic precedents.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if American Fiction had not won BAFTA, I would not be doing this. But I'm telling you, when I say with all the heart of my heart that had no business winning BAFTA, it was its only nomination. I never thought that movie would appeal to an international demographic. I love American Fiction. It's my favorite movie of the year, but I think it's just going to pull it off. And I think an Anatomy of a Fall voter in original screenplay is also an American Fiction voter in adapted.
So, Janelle.
Upset is, I
Cord.
think, Oppenheimer. What do
It's
you think?
Oppenheimer. It's
Yeah.
gonna be Oppenheimer.
I think Cord
Everyone's-
gets it though.
You think who does?
Cord. I think
Hey,
he's
look,
gonna
that
win.
would it would be great. These are all 4 of them are great scripts.
Can I just say, with your Oppenheimer pick, which is not a bad pick, it's my number 2 pick.
Well, thank you.
Yes, no, it's not bad. It's my number 2 pick. But I don't think a Best Picture winner has upset an adapted screenplay after winning nothing like in the modern era.
Well, we haven't had WGA is the thing that also sucks.
And I think that does suck a lot because we're all going to assume what would have won WGA because WGA is after. I think your precedent here closest would be Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. It wasn't supposed to win adapted screenplay on its day, and the only thing it won, I think, was BAFTA.
And with Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, that was a juggernaut, just like Oppenheimer is going to be this year.
Yeah.
And I don't see giving Oppenheimer all these awards and not recognizing the screenplay.
I mean, but similarly, we had the same kind of thing happen with Shape of Water, never contended in screenplay.
Not the greatest screenplay, though.
I mean, some people would argue that Oppenheimer has its screenplay issues as well. But also, I think La La Land also lost screenplay when it was supposed to win, quote unquote.
What did it lose to? Moonlight?
Manchester by the Sea.
Right, because Moonlight was
adapted.
adapted, yes, because of the play.
Yeah. So there are sometimes like they go, but like the
But La La Land also didn't win Best Picture.
Also didn't win, yeah. I mean, the hat trick is hard. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Nolan,
my gosh,
Nolan
Birdman?
will be the 11th person to do it.
All right, well, let's move on to original screenplay now.
Oh, this is the worst.
So we got Anatomy of a Fall from Justine Triet and Arthur Harari. We've got
A married couple.
The Holdovers from David Hemmingson. We've got Maestro, Bradley Cooper and Josh Singer.
Not a married couple.
We've got May December, Sammy Birch and Alex McCann.
A married couple.
And then Past Lives from Celine Song.
Who is married?
Oh my goodness.
Who is married.
Yes.
And I'm
These
very-
are all my favorites.
These are great films.
So I have some news that might be a little breaking.
Okay.
I'm predicting Anatomy of a Fall. The upset pick, though, is Past Lives.
Past Lives.
I was
God.
shocked how much I heard that name being voted for on the circuit. I think that's number
I gotta
2.
say, there's been like this 11th hour real boost. I feel like of just everyone talking about Past
Yeah.
Lives
They're
and
watching
how
the
much
movie
they love
finally.
Past
Yep.
Lives.
Yeah.
It's out there.
We haven't had an American audience really weigh in on screenplay, and to the credit of all of us here, and I think Janelle might have said this earlier in the season, we're putting so much weight on the Golden Globes Best Screenplay win because Anatomy
even remember what it was.
Anatomy won screenplay
That's right.
at the Globes, and it won BAFTA. Do you know what else won BAFTA and Golden Globes last year? Banshees of Inisherin.
Mm-hmm.
So I think people are way too comfortable to be like, oh, it's Anatomy. I'm predicting Anatomy. I'm saying that. But I think we need to be open to – I think Past Lives is the one.
But then do you have Anatomy predicted anywhere else for a win?
I think that means Anatomy goes – Anatomy will be like up in the air when it lost. By the way, it lost to the movie that was also winning supporting actress.
Yeah. Well, this is why I'm
Maybe that's
going with
it could be
holdovers.
the
I'm
Holdovers.
going with the holdovers.
I
No,
think
like,
the Holdovers could totally do it too. So
you know, I love me some May December, and I love me some Past Lives. People like this might be obviously holdovers is getting rewarded elsewhere, but people who I know who don't even necessarily love the movie talk about that script.
yeah.
You know, and David Hemmingson is just such a good dude.
He's great.
You know, who's been great on the circuit. Like, look, I'm going to be so happy if it is Past Lives. That would make me very, very happy. But
Is that what you're going with, though?
yeah, I'm going to go with holdovers. Yes.
I'm
Which
gonna
will
go-
also make me happy, by the way.
I'm going to go with Celine for Past Lives.
Oh,
'Cause-
you're gonna take my bait.
no,
Good.
because of the surge. Like, the love for that film.
Right when voting was
Yes.
going on. It was perfect time.
Where was
Everyone
that
was watching it.
surge during phase
By
one?
the way, do you know the last movie to be nominated for picture and screenplay only? Women Talking. And what did that win? Screenplay.
Nice.
All right.
So maybe
Adapted
we're
a
on
bit.
to something. It was adapted, but still nonetheless.
Yeah.
So
right.
you never know.
I could totally see it. All right, so now we're moving on to the acting categories. First up, actress in a supporting role. We've got Emily Blunt from Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks from The Color Purple, America Ferrera from Barbie, Jodie Foster from Nyad, and Davine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers.
Simply divine.
Davine all day.
My heart pick is Danielle Brooks. But Davine, yes, enjoy. Should have won it for Dolomite. So
The joy.
So who would be the spoiler?
Emily Blunt.
really,
Because if you're in an Oppenheimer mood, like why not? I mean, I think America Ferrera is 3,
Yeah.
but I kind of just don't think it matters. This one
Yeah,
of those,
I
it's
do.
one of
You're
those
right.
years that like we can argue about who number 2 is. It doesn't matter.
boy, people who see Naiad though do love Jodie Foster.
Jodie had a lot of votes out there.
If
that
she
were-
had campaigned, honestly,
I
she
think
could
if
be a real
I think
threat.
if she had campaigned, Annette Bening would be in a very different place today in that category.
Well, and when you think about it, Jodie Foster has been out there because of True
True Detective, yeah.
So we have seen a lot of Jodie Foster in the past couple of months.
And Jodie is not like a throwaway, like,
Oh,
you're
no,
here
she's
'cause your name's Jodie
fantastic.
Foster. Like, I'm not even big on Naiad. I think she is the best part of that movie by like a mile. I think she
She's
is
amazing.
phenomenal in it.
Amazing.
Yeah,
The
always
joy.
great. I do love the renaissance of Jodie Foster we've seen recently.
Do it.
We'll be hearing her name a lot.
All right, so actor in a supporting role, we got Sterling K. Brown. We love him from American Fiction. We got Robert De Niro from Killers of the Flower Moon. We've got RDJ, Robert Downey Jr. from Oppenheimer.
You were about to say it
You were
wrong.
doing so well.
Tired.
She said it so
Complicated
much.
days.
He's tired.
Oppenheimer. I was up till midnight last night seeing Madonna in concert.
Oh.
Side note, a fantastic show. We'll talk more about that later. Ryan Gosling from Barbie and Mark Ruffalo from Poor Things. Stacked category.
I think it's so aggressively Robert Downey Jr. When I say I think he's winning with like 70% of the vote. Like, I think it's like
Even with this competition.
when I was startled at how much people who didn't like Oppenheimer were still voting for him. And I was like, okay, I guess we're just in that type of mood.
Is that as much as just people love RDJ?
I think it's just kind of like,
And they
like,
want to reward him for going back to this kind of a performance, I think.
yeah.
Yeah. Can I just say I'll be very happy, and I'm going to pretend it's actually an Oscar for Chaplin, which he should have won for. Thrilled Robert Downey Jr. is going to be an Oscar winner. I wish Ryan Gosling had really gone for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was very supportive of the movie, but I don't think he likes to put the focus on himself.
We'd be in a different place if he put in a little more. The same America Ferrera effort, if he put that in, he'd be in a different spot.
Yeah. I mean, he was rocking a hard place, right? Because he couldn't do too much.
Excellent
because
point.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? Is he still your spoiler?
Yeah, he's number 2.
But like a low, too.
Yeah, I mean, like a 2. Yeah, like a low 2. I mean, Mark Ruffalo also got some votes too, and I think Mark Ruffalo is just one of those guys. He's going to win an Oscar one day. He's going to win in a yearly coronation. He doesn't win in an upset. Like, he's going to win when everyone knows what time it is. Like,
By the way,
like Robert Downey Jr.
I just looked up who Robert Downey Jr. lost to in the year of Chaplin.
Pacino.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Denzel's Oscar.
Well, the problem is that Denzel was also up that year for Malcolm X, which was the greatest.
I spoke to a voter, by the way, who's been a voter for over a very, very long time, said he's voted for RDJ every single time he's been up for an Oscar.
Wow, all twice?
Well, yeah. I was shocked that they voted for him for Tropic Thunder. That's the Heath Ledger year.
No,
So was
I
like,
love that.
Go for it, man.
Oh, I was on the Josh Brolin train that year. Yeah, I thought he was great.
Do we also feel like there's been a Poor Things renaissance? Like, I feel like that's also had a 11th hour
People
surge.
really love that movie.
Well, I'll say something right after we get into
Okay,
actresses.
we'll
something
get
we
to
need
actress and we'll
prep
talk
for.
about that. Yeah, because that's the big one, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, so actress in a leading role, we have Annette Bening from Naiad, which again, Naiad performing like ultra strong ultimately for what's a Netflix
It's
film.
really good.
You know what? I wish I knew the WGA nominees before, because when I got WGA nominated, I was like, I would have predicted Annette. I would have just went for it because there it goes, and then I just didn't get it. But go ahead, Annette Bening.
Yeah, as Naiad, who by the way is a big supporter of the Great Los Angeles Walk. Diana Naiad is at every walk every
That's right.
year.
I dropped your name to her and Bonnie.
Come say hi to her at the next one in November. Lily Gladstone from Killers of the Flower Moon. Sandra Hüller from Anatomy of a Fall. Carey Mulligan from Maestro, and Emma Stone from Poor Things.
So is it Gladstone 1 or Gladstone 1?
Ooh.
2 Rocks. Remember 2 Rocks? Oh God.
Yeah. So what are we doing?
Okay.
Where are you at now?
I had it. This is Chadwick Boseman, Anthony Hopkins Part 2. It came down to math. I think Emma Stone and Sandra Hüller are splitting the international vote. And that's allowing Lily Gladstone to come up.
Allowing.
We allow you to win,
Here's the
Lily.
thing. And listen, I would love to do a postmortem of the season after. The amount of times people told me, why isn't she in support?
I know.
Like, it would just be so easy this year, and it would just be
Would
like,
it though? Because they love Davine.
I mean, I don't think Davine ever gets arrested the way she is. I think Lily would have plowed through the season. And she did a lot of the season, even in lead. I think supporting it would have been different. Can Emma win? Sure. Poor Things is in a very weird spot where it literally can win anywhere between 0 and 6 Oscars.
Yep.
And that's a really wide gap.
Yeah.
If it loses everything, it ties for the biggest loser of all time with Color Purple and Turning Point. It would go 0 for 11.
Oh, Turning Point.
So I have it right now based on we're going through predictions. I have it only winning production design, which is a really weird 1 Oscar win for an 11 Oscar nominated movie. Last movie to win just production design only was Sweeney Todd in 2007. Wow. So you're not wrong to go with either Carrie or Lily, but I had to do a math equation, and that's my justification for going with Lily. Even though I switched my SAG prediction at the last moment.
Yeah,
and lesson to be learned, don't ever do that again.
Right, because you had Lily and then you switched to Emma at the last minute and then you were burned.
And then I got burned.
I get bragging rights for sticking.
Yeah, as you should.
So you're not going to do that again.
I'm not. I'm sticking with Lily because you know what? I'd rather be there for her if she won than I'd rather if she didn't win, say that she was going to, maybe do it, than have her win and me say it was Emma.
Yeah. Understood.
So, rest of you also
Easy
Gladstone?
Go with Stone.
Go with Stone.
Which
Or go with
Stone.
The Emma.
Emma. And I think a lot of it comes down to campaigning.
I'm going to stick with Lily. I think the history moment is just, I think I've heard that when I've been speaking to voters too, of just, I think it would be such an amazing moment for the Academy.
Mm-hmm. And there is consideration that goes into that they think about okay.
Of course, yeah.
It is a moment. Also, only thing you can give Killers, by the way, and if Killers loses, if it loses Lily, that means it goes 0 for 10. Scorsese becomes the first director to direct 2 0 for 10 movies, and that would be not cool. So I think I mean,
still pretty impressed. Most people don't direct movies that get 10 nominations.
Don't get 30 Oscar nominations between 3 movies.
Can I just tell you that Best Actress, female actor in a leading role, I had a perfect record at the SAG Awards this year for the first time ever, except this category.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, let's move to actor now. So we got Bradley Cooper for Maestro, we got Coleman Domingo for Rustin, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction.
Ask Cillian to say 30 for you sometimes. It's the cutest. 30. 30.
Well, he's Irish.
Much like actress, I also did math and I figured out why Cillian Murphy is winning. Aside, I know people are going to be good. It's undeniable.
I was with. You're not going to argue against SAG.
So here it is. American Fiction, I believe, is having such a moment. And it's such a moment that it's winning adapted screenplay. And if this had started a month earlier, I think we would have been having a serious conversation about what it's about to do at the Oscars. But that's not happening. I think Jeffrey Wright moving up the notches is eating into Paul Giamatti's voting demographic.
Those are weird splits.
I think they both eat from the American vote and the vote that you're like, I want to reward a career. I have loved these guys forever. They're theater guys. Also, Coleman Domingo eats into that too. And I think Cillian Murphy is just running away with the international vote. And then that's just allowing that to happen.
That just seems very arbitrary. We ought to have one guy who's a brunette. So,
I mean, it's like presidential election kind of thing. It's
the Nate Silver of the Oscars.
Educated, women over 30 kind of thing. There are people who appeal to certain demographics. So you build your campaign that way.
Yeah. No, I could see it too. Because there's also, the Holdovers and American Fiction, similar tone if you want something that's a little more
They're
comedic.
Both writers.
And he's a titular character of that. And by the way,
titular character.
And by the way, the reason I had a lot of issues with it was because of the RDJ factor. A Best Picture winner hasn't won actor and supporting actor together since Ben-Hur in 1959. Wow. So that was okay, I feel like it's going to lose there, and then that's it. Because, by the way, Michael Keaton lost for Birdman to a 12-year-old. His name's Eddie Redmayne. He's not 12. but You cannot have convinced me.
That was campaigning, man. I have never seen a campaign
But
played
you
so
could
well.
never have convinced me to predict Birdman to win picture, director, screenplay.
It was crazy.
And not take Keaton.
Yeah. No, he probably should have, let's be honest. But like, that was when I was like, he reminded me of Jean Dujardin, that charm circuit that Eddie went on. He was also fantastic in the movie, obviously. But
by the way, Paul Giamatti won the same exact awards Michael Keaton did that year. He won the Globe, he won CCA, and then he stopped winning after that.
Oh my gosh.
So, listen, is there a world where Giamatti pulls it off?
Of course.
Sure, but I think Murphy got it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to director.
I'm going to pretend it's for Red
Yeah.
Eye.
So we got Jonathan Glazer for The Zone of Interest. We've got Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things. We've got Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer. Martin Scorsese, up-and-comer, for Killers of the Flower Moon. And Justine Triet for Anatomy of a Fall. Triet. I just like...
Nolan by miles. The number 2, I think it's Glazer.
I'm not going to argue with that.
Could be Scorsese, but I think it's one of the two. I don't think it matters.
Listen, Christopher Nolan literally should have won this for Memento 20-some years ago. And then he should have won it again for Inception and Dunkirk.
Yeah, this was a very funny, like, I remember thinking, I talked about this with someone early on in the season. I said, if he doesn't win this year, he's never going to win. If they
Oh,
don't
no,
get-
he'll
Exactly.
win for like
He's
his shittiest movie.
I know.
Yeah.
But
a few years from now.
It was
yeah.
one of those that, like, if he doesn't do it now, it's
Because that's what they said about Scorsese the year.
Departed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not Departed. The year he didn't win for,
Aviator?
no, the Gangs of New York. And yeah. And then, whoa, out of nowhere, some guy who fled the country they give it to.
No, I think Nolan has it in the bag. But it is, speaking about Scorsese,
And people want Nolan.
it's nuts. Scorsese only has 1 Oscar.
It is. He has the same amount of Oscars as 3-6 Mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I love that song. I'm so happy they won.
Also, the
so.
most nominated living director today.
Nolan, more like Yeslin.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Why?
I'll take it.
Why are you trying to hurt me?
Why am I bad?
Like, what did I ever do to you?
Okay.
All right, so that's one of the easy ones. And then we come to Best Picture, which may be the easiest one of them all. We're down to American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest.
I like to reveal a revelation that I think might be accurate. So preferential voting has started in 2009, Hurt Locker year. So you have to. The rules are you have to win 50% plus 1 of the people that vote to secure your Best Picture win. I have always long believed that I don't think we've ever had a movie clinch on the first round, like in this era. I think it goes through multiple rounds. This is the first time I think we might have that clinch on the first round. But coincidentally or interestingly, I believe the film that has the second most number 1 votes, not enough to matter, Zone of Interest. I think it just craters after that, though. Like, if it does go through multiple rounds, it's like done. But I think American Fiction actually is probably number 2. Not that it matters, but I think Oppenheimer's going to win by miles, but I think American Fiction's number 2.
The Holdovers was loved a lot too, though. But I don't know.
I think it just ate into it, man. I think that, especially, I think the lighter movies are up there for sure. Like American Fiction. I think Barbie's maybe teeters around 5.
There was a point where I thought it could be Barbie, and SAG just erased any doubt of that.
Yeah, Poor Things, and this is, I think we were talking about this earlier. I think Poor Things, I think, is the most divisive movie in terms of people who love it are like ride or die. I will punch you in the face if you talk bad about this movie.
Yeah.
And there are people who are like, I'll punch you in the face if you make me watch this movie again.
They have a lot of violent people. You
Like,
hang
yeah,
out with.
there are a lot of violent people. But I think Poor Things has like such a, I mean, it's an 11 nomination movie. I think people misread them like, oh no, they clearly love it. I think it had enough support with its crafts to get it through, but I don't know if it's necessarily beloved. It might be like 4th.
So, Oppenheimer, huh? How about that Oppenheimer?
Yeah, it's an Oppie sweet.
What's in last place?
Oh, that's mean.
Oh.
No, no, honestly, because I think that matter, like, because that's the first movie that gets eliminated, and then whatever number 2 on those ballots is what gets added. So that's why you always have to think about what's last, what gets eliminated first.
You know what? It might be Barbie.
Oh, I think it's Maestro.
I was just going to say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking it might
But
be
what's
Maestro
number 2
too.
on a Maestro
See, I think
ballot?
everybody likes Barbie, but I don't know if it's many people's number one choice.
Oh, it's probably not. I think it has probably like 8th amount of number 1 votes, but I think it's a lot of 2s and 3s. I think Maestro's last, but then I think 2s and 3s on those ballots are like Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon. You like big movies, big auteurs, Past Lives could be last also.
No.
Could be.
So are we saying that Barbie technically is probably only going to go home with 1 Oscar? Like it's the
It could also go home with 4. So
also go
there's
home
that
with
too.
none.
It also
By the way, American
yeah.
Fiction is probably going home with none. So,
No, we say 1.
Yeah, we say 1.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Of course. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's not going to be the most amount of movies to go home empty-handed. I think the only ones I'm predicting to go home empty-handed are Past Lives. That's it.
Which only has 2 nominations in
Which only
fairness.
has 2 nominations. Which, by the way, it's either that or Anatomy of a Fall that actually go home empty-handed.
Yeah.
You have to, fight it out. Or Killers or Poor Things. You got-
God, I would just love to see Celine Song give a
I know, right?
acceptance speech at the Oscars. She's not at all what I expected. I thought she'd be very serious and introspective, and she's just
she
like
is funny.
She's a great human.
a blast.
She is hilarious.
So Oppenheimer sweeping. How many are we thinking?
I guess what you define as a sweep, right? I have it winning 8, which would be the most since Slumdog Millionaire. So I call that a sweep. I call a sweep anything that you win more than 70% of what you're nominated.
Yeah, if there's like a clear defining winner, like that dominated the Oscars, this will be the year that Oppenheimer is your easy headline.
I think it's at 8. I think its worst day is 6. I think there's a day that it's at 10. I think 10 would be the second most ever, tied with West Side Story. It would have to pick up adapted screenplay and have to probably pick up production design.
Isn't this the first time if Nolan wins, picture wins, Cillian Murphy win, and Robert wins, we've had like acting, picture, director in like years?
long time.
Like it's been a really long time.
The Ben-Hur year. I think there's like a weirder stat of like the last movie to win picture, director, 2 acting, and cinematography and sound.
Silence
is like
of the Lambs.
Oh no!
Hey,
it goes back to like.
Oh, sorry, I was throwing an actress.
I think
as well.
it goes back to like Gandhi.
Wow.
Like win lead acting or something like that. It was like some
Silence is the last one to sweep the top 5.
Yeah, we've only had 3 top 5ers.
When you say silence, I thought you were.
I know. I realized that's why Clayton gave me a face.
I was like, my favorite Scorsese movie. What?
Well, it's funny. I was talking about it yesterday. I can't remember the context, but I brought up how great Silence is and how many people the Martin Scorsese movie, and how that's the one he really should have been rewarded more for.
Yeah.
Silence.
All right, so Oscars, where are you going to be, Clayton?
For 5.5 hours, I will be at the Dolby on ABC News with a bunch of correspondents giving predictions and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And then I will be inside at the ceremony watching before going to the Governor's Awards and probably stopping by Universal to see Nolan be all happy.
Hopefully there'll be some sort of live mishap, because those are always the best years.
Yeah.
At the Oscars.
Someone put out in the Twitter sphere, and they were like, what if, playing devil's advocate, what if Oppenheimer lost? Like,
It could happen.
What would
That'd be amazing.
I mean,
because then that would make for an interesting Oscars.
it would prove I know nothing. Like, I know absolutely
Are you
nothing.
saying that you step down as awards editor at
I don't know
Variety?
about that. I mean, listen, I would guess that everyone else would be wrong in that too.
Yeah.
But it would be one of those that I would be like, okay, there is an untapped Academy voter I am not talking to.
Well, think
Wait.
about it. There are people, I'm sure, predicting that Oppenheimer doesn't win Best Picture. Like, I'm curious, go to Gold Derby or something. Who are the people predicting other films?
I don't think anyone is on
I think
Gold
everybody
Derby.
has Best Picture.
Yeah.
If they're not, I think they're just being contrarian.
They're just being,
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Are they bringing back that thing where they have past winners introduce
Yes,
the acting
the
nominees?
5.
Yes.
That's going to be so much
It's
fun.
going to be great. And actually, shout out to, just a fellow pundit, at another publication, Kyle Buchanan. Actually, I like him very much. But we have all the presenters now.
Yes.
And I think he kind of found the matchup of who would it be. So actor would be having Brendan Fraser, Nicolas Cage, Matthew McConaughey, Ben Kingsley, and Forrest Whitaker presenting.
Wow.
Because it's going to be former winners.
I even have a breakdown of who's presenting which person. suspected, but not, yeah.
There's like actress Michelle Yeoh, Jennifer Lawrence, Charlize Theron, Jessica Lange, Sally Field.
Jennifer Lawrence is definitely given Emma Stone entrance.
She's got to do Emma. Yeah, she's got to do Emma. Supporting actor Ki Kwan, Mahershala Ali, Sam Rockwell, Christoph Waltz, and Tim Robbins. And then supporting actors Jamie Lee Curtis, Regina King, Rita Moreno.
Oh my God.
She's got to talk for America.
It's up here.
And she's got to say America, America.
Yeah.
If she doesn't, then we're not doing this right. Octavia Spencer and Mary Steenburgen. Mrs.
Oh, I
Ted Danson.
love Mary
Love
Steenburgen.
it.
I'm sorry, he is Mr. Mary Steenburgen.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so that's where you're going to be. Janelle, where are you going to be on Oscar Sunday?
What are you doing? I don't have any plans. I know where you live.
Hang out with you.
Watching some videos.
Watching TV.
Yeah.
Watch The Traitors.
Yes.
Oh,
Phaedra.
guys. The Traitors, man. It's got me through this Oscar season.
Yeah.
It is
Have
incredible.
Reality TV. There you go.
Yeah.
Since just a peek ahead into post-Oscars life, have you, Michael, watched The Three Body Problem yet?
So I'm in the process.
Oh.
Yeah, just starting.
We will speak.
So, yeah, we have a premiere actually at South by. That's where I'll be on Sunday, is at South by.
So I can still come over, though, right?
So, yeah,
Maria's-
Maria will be
cooking.
watching.
Maria's gonna
yeah.
be cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll have some
I'll go
goodies.
get some Maria food.
And Jazz, what's your plan for Sunday night?
I will be in the Oscars press room
All
asking
right.
questions.
Asking questions.
So it's always Ben Hoytsma, Christopher Nolan, and Cord Jefferson, Janelle.
Sure.
Cord Jefferson.
Cord. Oh my God.
And someone also says, I just gotta say this, it was hilarious. Someone was like, it's gonna really suck if Christopher Nolan, his first Oscar is gonna be for a screenplay.
Oh, yeah, because that's... Well, you know what, though? There is the mentality when people were like, Greta Gerwig was only nominated for screenplay. Like, that's pretty
writing's
freaking
pretty damn
cool.
hard, guys.
All right. Well, here we go. So look alive, everyone. Sunday night, it is the Oscars on ABC, and then
An
we'll
hour
be back.
earlier.
Exactly.
And
It's
also
daylight savings
daylight savings.
time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So
then-
basically 2:00 in the afternoon. The
Yeah.
Oscars will be.
And Abbott Elementary will be on afterwards
Is it really?
Yep. So we
Oh
have
my
to
God, it's
finish
been
on
so
time.
good this
That's
season.
right.
because
That's
we want
right.
Abbott.
So we'll be back here next week to talk about all the surprises, all the winners, any snubs
I'll
that
be sleeping.
happened.
Don't-
Clayton will be sleeping, but the rest of us will be here. So take a look for that. In the meantime, rest up, get ready, look alive, everyone. We'll see you
almost
next
over.
week.
Thanks, kids.
Bye bye.
The 96th Oscars, hosted by Jimmy Kimmel, takes place on Sunday, March 10 at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Yes, a full hour earlier than normal on ABC. And that's it for this edition of Variety's Awards Circuit Podcast. Zach Levin edited this episode, and Michael Schneider is the producer. Be sure to subscribe to the Awards Circuit Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you download podcasts. Also, head on over to Variety.com and click on the Awards Circuit tab to find the latest awards predictions and key races, as well as your daily fix of news, analysis, and reviews. For Jazz Tanke, Janelle Riley, and Clayton Davis, I'm Michael Schneider, and we'll see you on the circuit.